Hey everyone, it's Adrian Manray, and happy holidays everyone, because here's my Christmas gift. Today I am giving you the Hasbro Cinematic Universe Phase 2. Now there are 9 projects in this phase, and people are going to be pretty excited with what's going to happen in this phase. So with that out of the way, let us begin. The first movie in Phase 2 is Transformers: The Long Forgotten. Our main cast of Autobots return, along with Spike and Sparkplug in the story. This will take place in Peru, kind of like Rise of the Beasts, and we have new cast members, which I'm going to tell you right now. Lou Ferrigno voices Grimlock, Derek Phillips voices Swoop, Tony Todd voices Slag, and Kari Walgan voices Snarl. We have 2 new Autobots in this movie, Cliffjumper voiced by Jensen Ackles, and Windblade voiced by Aaron Zek. Scourge will be the main villain of this movie and will be voiced by Ike Amati. The 4 remaining Decepticons, Starscream, Soundwave, Shockwave, and Barricade return in this story, but Barricade dies along with Shockwave. By the end of the movie, the Autobots win, Scourge dies, and it does set up a bit of Unicron in this movie. So the movie ends with another Linkin Park song, then the credits roll. We have 2 post-credit scenes. The first post-credit scene shows Baroness and a few Cobra agents putting pieces of Scourge into a truck for a project called Bruticus. Then it cuts to black. The second post-credit scene would show the last 2 remaining Decepticons retreating until they see an airship drop, and it's revealed to be Galvatron, who is actually Megatron, voiced by Josh Brolin, who tells them to come with him because Unicron is waiting. Then it cuts to black. The second project in Phase 2 is Power Rangers Z. We have our returning cast of the original 5, along with new Ranger, Tommy, played by Timothée Chalamet. And we also have Alpha 5 and Zordon back, along with Rita Repulsa, and from the first post-credit scene in Power Rangers, Lord Zed, played by Tony Leung. This movie will introduce Ninjor, voiced by Paul Bettany, who is actually a robot controlled by Lord Zed at first, but turns good in the movie and sacrifices himself to stop Lord Zed. The Rangers achieve victory, and Rita gets sent flying into space. They don't know where she's at now, but they don't worry about it as they return home to Angel Grove. The movie ends with them having a little gag of Bulk and Skull as it fades to black. We have a singular post-credit scene in this movie. This shows Rita Repulsa drifting in space until she's found by a giant object. It is revealed that this object is revealed to be Unicron, as he makes Rita his next herald of many. Then it cuts to black. The third project in Phase 2 is MASK, Mobile Armored Strike Command. Here is your Mobile Armor Strike Command. Matt Tracker is played by Chris Evans, Bruce Sato is played by Ludi Lin, Dusty Hayes is played by Jake Johnson, Gloria Baker is played by Karen Fukuhara, Julio Lopez is played by Diego Luna, and Alex Sector is played by Michael Cudlitz. The movie would follow MASK fighting off against an enemy organization called Venom, who are selling weapons out of Blitzwing's parts. And, plot twist, Miles Mannheim was the one behind it, the same guy who created MASK. The team recognized this, and by the end of the film, they defeat Miles Mannheim and he gets arrested in a federal prison. The movie would end with them driving off into the sunset as the credits roll. There is one post-credit scene, and in that scene, Miles Mannheim is seen getting out of federal prison to help work for a government project, and he is given the head of Blitzwing. He does not know why, but he knows the what, to eliminate the alien robots that have crash-landed on Earth. Then it cuts to black. The fourth project is Action Man: Amp It Up. The movie would follow Action Man post the first movie, deciding whether he should join G.I. Joe or not. But then he gets intel about a Cobra operative named Zartan stealing high-tech stuff. So he stopped Zartan, and by the end of the movie, Action Man decides to join G.I. Joe, and that's when it fades to black. We get a singular post-credit scene with Destro building his armor, setting up G.I. Joe 2. The fifth project is ROM, Cyber War. The story would follow Rom as he encounters other Cybertronians and faces a very powerful enemy. Speaking of which, let's get to them. Here we have our new Autobots. We have Jetfire, voiced by Yuri Lowenthal, Prowl, voiced by Matthew Yang King, Alita 1, voiced by Gemma Chan, Jazz, voiced by Mahershala Ali, Drift, voiced by Hiroyuki Sanada, and Sentinel Prime, voiced by David Harbour. The villains would be the Quintessons, with the Quintesson Judge, voiced by Chukwudi Iwuji, would be our main villain. The movie would end with the Quintessons being eliminated and Rom going back to Earth while some of them, like the Autobots, die, leaving two left, Jazz and Alita 1. They crash on Earth, and the movie ends with them searching for Optimus Prime as it fades to black. We get two post-credit scenes in this movie. The first post-credit scene would be of Rom learning that his home planet was destroyed by Unicron. Then it cuts to black. The second post-credit scene would be Alita 1 and Jazz arriving on Earth to the locations where Optimus Prime was at. Optimus sees them and is glad. Jazz walks towards the base as Alita 1 wants to speak to Optimus alone. Optimus ponders. Alita 1 simply says, "Optimus, want you to meet your son, Ultra Magnus." Then it cuts to black. The sixth project in Phase 2 is Micronauts. Here is our Micronauts cast. Osiris Rael is played by Jason Statham, Larissa is played by Denai Guerrera, Acroyear is played by Chris Hemsworth, and Biotron is voiced by Jeremy Irons. The main villain will be Baron Karza, played by Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. The plot of the movie follows the Micronauts rebelling against Baron Karza and his empire. By the end of the film, the Micronauts would retreat as Baron Karza holds an ultimate power, which is the whole center of microspace, which is where they're from. Not the microverse, because that's being used in rebooted MCU, and that's the Marvel continuity, but microspace, that's used in the IDW comics. So yeah. The movie would end with the Micronauts going deep into microspace, and then it would fade to black. We have one singular post-credit scene. The scene shows Baron Karza looking into microspace and seeing the corpse of a giant robot. This is the progenitor of microspace itself, one of the 13 primes of Cybertron, Micronus Prime. Then it cuts to black. The seventh project is G.I. Joe Destruction. The movie would follow the Joes hunting down Destro, who has an ally in Dr. Mindbender, and the Joes must help a new recruit get used to all the work. The newest member of G.I. Joe is Ripcord, who will be played by Chris Rock. Dr. Mindbender will be played by Mark Strong. The plot is fairly simple. The Joes go into Saudi Arabia to stop Destro and Dr. Mindbender from releasing a death ray. The Joes win, Destro and Mindbender die, and the movie ends with Duke and the Joes finally deciding to confront the Autobots themselves as the movie fades to black. The first post-credit scene would show a giant garage where Cobra operatives are working on a giant machine and placing Energon into it. This is revealed to be Project Bruticus. Then it cuts to black. The second post-credit scene would be of Cobra Commander, played by Jonathan Majors, plotting his next plan against the Joes. Then it cuts to black. The eighth project in Phase 2 is My Little Pony Discord. The cast from the first movie returns, along with some new faces. So, let's get to them. This is the film where we introduce Starlight Glimmer, voiced by Lizzie Broadway. The main villain of this movie is Discord, voiced by Giancarlo Esposito, and he will cause chaos among Equestria. During the middle of the movie, Discord kind of gives an explanation of how he was imprisoned and how he got out, which is that when Cybertron, which is revealed to have died, he got released. And he knows everything about Equestria and its history. And a big plot twist is revealed. Magic does not exist. This magic is just concentrated energon. And it is revealed that the ponies were old ancient Cybertronian experiments. Give me a break. I'm trying to make it all make sense and to have My Little Pony in this universe to make sense. Okay? Chill, bro. Anyways, the movie would end with Discord being turned to stone, but instead of being reformed in this universe, well, he gets crushed to pieces because the blast was far too powerful. Starlight would run into the woods, and the movie would end with another photo sent to Princess Celestia and Princess Luna. Then it fades to black. There is a singular post-credit scene, and the scene takes place in Camelot, where Celestia talks to Twilight and reveals the history about Equestria. It is revealed that there was once an ancient being known as Unicron that threatened to eat all of the universe. But he was stalled away by a being called Primus. But before he was vanished into deep space, he had many heralds. Most of them died, but one survived, deep in the Crystal Kingdom. His name? Sombra. Then it cuts to black. The final project in Phase 2 is Transformers vs. G.I. Joe. The movie is the first big crossover of this universe and will kind of adapt the comics of IDW. In this, the Autobots and the Joes are pitted against each other when the Joes are hunting the Autobots down, with both sides not realizing that Cobra has something else planned. This does result in the death of like 2 Autobots, however. Yeah, Ironhide and Wheeljack are gonna... yeah, they're gonna die. After their second battle in the movie, it would be revealed that Bruticus is the overall villain of this movie, and there would be a final battle between the Transformers and the Joes. The Transformers and the Joes would win, but the Transformers would retreat and go into hiding as the Joes ponder what they're going to do next as the movie ends. And that was Hasbro Cinematic Universe Phase 2. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and if this video gets a ton of likes and a lot of views, then like maybe we could get Hasbro Cinematic Universe Phase 3. This was pretty fun to do, and I hope you guys have a happy holidays and Merry Christmas, everybody. It's Adrian Man Ray. Take care.